That's awesome.
It's time for takeoff.
Can we?
Cal in the
Woohoo!
house. Cal Gates,
Yeah.
yes.
It was like a countdown, but I'm glad we're not in a penis rocket.
That's right. Exactly
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yes. How are you doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I'm so excited. We finally nailed this down, and what a treat! There's a disturbance in the force.
Yes. I just want to start back by saying that I've been watching you.
Oh God, I knew it.
I told you I've been watching you for years. The thing is that oncology massage is your jam, and for years, it's kind of taken this huge transition where when I was doing massage in the beginning and someone would come in and they didn't have hair, I'd be like, I wonder. And then they'd like take, or else someone would take off a wig and they'd be like, I'm going through treatment. And I'd be like, wow, no education, no idea. Because there wasn't any in the 90s,
right?
Nothing going on. So I would just do my best and hope for the best. And, it was just there was nothing. We had nothing.
Exactly.
And then in the distance, I heard a voice. And the name was Cal.
Yeah.
And my massage therapist started coming to me like, hey, we got to figure out this oncology thing. We got to figure out this oncology thing. And I met with Unite for Her.
Oh,
and then I kept hearing Cal. Cal.
So disturbing.
And the thing is my therapist took some of your classes. And they were blown away. They said that this person has something that we've never seen before. And I know, as someone who's been around for a long time, in order to get that thing that no one's ever seen before and touch the heart and soul of massage therapists, you got to do the work.
It's true.
So tell us how it all, there's got to be, this healwell.org doesn't just happen. Cal just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? That's one of the things I always like to express to people. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah. It's, man, my specific origin story is actually kind of lame. You know how people say, oh, this happened to me. And then I went to massage school because, I had an injury or whatever. And I think I was just bored doing what I was doing. I got an English degree and I thought I'd go to law school. And then I decided not to go to law school. And then I set up carnival tents for a couple years in Iowa where I went to college. And then I had always wanted to live in Washington, D.C. And I wanted to come back east because I'm like from upstate New Jersey, but I didn't want to exactly go back to New Jersey. So I moved to D.C. temporarily in 1999 and here where I still live. And I was a bartender. Well, actually, I started as a public relations person. I was actually working for Ford Motor Company, handing out booster seats when the booster seat law went into effect.
How about that?
We had a nationwide program where we were trying to give away 1 million booster seats with the United Way. And so I was working on that program, and I got hired by a nonprofit called the International Center for Injury Prevention. And I was working with NFL players, teaching high school kids to put on their seatbelts. And one day the leader of the organization got on and said, like, so we're folding and this is everybody's last day. And I was like, oh, and I was like, I don't know, my mid-20s, and I had like a company car and I had a laptop and all this stuff. And they were like, and we didn't really have time to work out Cobra. So like, really, like today's paycheck is your last one and no more health insurance for you. So my office was on K Street in DC, and I literally walked down a couple blocks to the end of K Street and put in an application at a bar on the waterfront. And I was bartender for the next like 3 or 4 years and just bumming around DC like, I wonder what I'll do with my vaunted English literature degree. And
I knew there was something special about your emails.
And yes, indeed. Turns out learning how to write like works everywhere. So that was really helpful. But my memory is that I just sort of wound up in a massage school orientation and I was like, I can do this. So I applied and they let me in, possibly against their better judgment. And the first day of massage school, I was like, oh, yeah, this might be why I'm on the planet. Like, okay. So, and all we did, like our first assignment was still touch, right? Which I was like, ugh, when are we gonna get to the massage? Which now, like, I could just do still touch all the time and it'd be great. Um, but yeah, so then in massage school, I was massaging my grandfather at the moment that he died. I didn't actually know that he had a life limiting illness, but he was in like a nursing home type thing. And I watched him take his last breath and I was like, huh, that was not nearly as upsetting as my family, my culture, my teaching would have led me to believe it would be. And I thought, huh, like there's something to this. So I just started like, I was like, okay, well, at the time I thought I should get Reiki training because that seemed like the thing, right? And, you know, that's like another subversive thing about Reiki. Like, I'm like, you don't need Reiki training, it's just love, but that's okay. If you want to get Reiki training, you can get it. If you need practice being still, that's important. So I did that. And then I took oncology massage training with Tracy Walton is the person that I signed up to take a course with. And she's like really kind of one of the big oncology massage gurus. And she had like a family emergency. And so Gail McDonald, who is sort of understood to be the grandmother of oncology massage, came and like filled in for her, but I didn't know anything. And everybody in the class is like, oh my God, Gail McDonald. I'm like, who the hell's Gail McDonald? And then of course I like opened the book and I was like, oh, the one who wrote the book for the class. Okay. So my first oncology massage experience was with Gail McDonald. And then I just started sort of gently stalking Tracy Walton, who, because Gail's in Portland, Oregon, which is a little far from me, but Tracy was just in Boston. I'm like, oh, I could just like hang out on your front porch and be like, hey, what are you doing? Are you thinking about oncology massage? What are you thinking? Can you tell me about it?
Little steam coming out of your nose on our window.
Oh my gosh, completely. Yeah, drawing little hearts and stuff. But yeah, it was such an incredibly welcoming community, and people just really wanted to move out of what so many of them had learned massage was, and they sort of found this home in oncology massage. And now, I mean, Healwell is 11 this summer. 11 years old. Yeah, we were supposed to have a big 10th birthday party last year, but as with everyone else's plans last year, right. So, but you know, we're now, there's so many people doing oncology massage and so many people doing it well that, I mean, we continue to offer that training, but we've been able to broaden so much further beyond oncology massage because there are sort of generations now who have come up under those same teachers that we all learned with. And now Healwell is so much more than just me, which is really exciting. And yeah, I feel like we're just trying to help massage therapists not be idiots. I mean, I don't know how much more, you know, kindly I can say it. Like, I think that we have this weird blend of like compassion and science. And I just see people out on Facebook and even like in our courses and things, they come in and they say things and I'm like, oh, where did you learn that? That's so not correct. But you learned it from somebody who was trying to teach you. And so, you know, how do we unteach you without disrespecting the lineage you've come from or whatever it might be? And how do we just show you that there's another way to do this that actually will be more fun and more sustainable? And that no matter what kind of provider you are, like if you are a structural integrator or if you're, you know, myofascial release or whatever your thing is, that you can learn how to work with people who are medically complex without changing whatever your niche is, that, you know, anything can be adapted to adjust, to be supportive to a person whose body is challenged by disease or disability or whatever it might be. But you have to be willing to let go of the ideas about what you're doing and sort of how important you are. And that's a hard thing to let go of. So
I think I heard you say something that Yoda said. You must unlearn all that you have learned. And I think that's a tough one for people, but it actually turns out to be the easiest one because the more languages you know, not literal, but the more ways you know how to address the many different types of people that are out there.
Yeah.
If you have a little clinical with a twist of Reiki,
yeah.
You know,
exactly.
It makes for like a beautiful painting. So
yes.
I think that if you get too set on one way, that it's almost distracting. And I want to go back to something too that you said that just really caught my ear, and because we had the same experience, believe it or not. So my grandfather was I've been to 5 childbirths, and then I've been to a couple people passing.
Uh-huh.
My grandfather was the first person that I saw pass.
Uh-huh.
And I remember them calling me and saying, your grandpop's dying, your grandpop's dying. So I like jump on the plane and I'm flying out there. At the time I was a real partier, and I'm like convincing them to give me all this booze, and I'm like flying. Like, oh my God, I'm going to go see someone die. You know, I'm freaking out. And when I got there, my grandfather hadn't moved in days. And when we walked into the room, he went, and he raised his hands and then just put them down, but he couldn't do anything else. And I remember I got 5 minutes with him where everyone left the room, and I just held his hands, and the high in the room was kind of like a birth. It felt the same as when I've been to childbirth. It was this energy that is, unless you've been there, undescribable. It was like you could hear a pin drop, but you could feel everything and more in the universe. And I remember feeling like that was one of the greatest gifts of my life, was being there when my grandfather passed. And the stigma behind what death was, to me, totally, like, I don't even get it anymore. Really, I don't. A lot of it is very confusing for me as per what people tell me. But all that said, death is a game changer. And you've gotten to, I mean, you're where you began. You really face that a lot. And it's funny how death often, literally, if you're present for the death, that you accept the death, brings life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I feel like I feel very lucky that oncology massage sort of found me, because it is really hard to sort of fall asleep, so to speak, when you're working with people on a regular basis who thought they had more time and who are now anxious and really struggling with the fact that they're approaching their death because they forgot to live and they didn't notice that, like, your age doesn't mean anything in terms of how much time you have left. And we tend to live as though there's more time. You know, we'll do it next summer, we'll do it next week, we'll do it tomorrow. And, you know, being with people that you see, they don't get another tomorrow. You go, okay, like, if I died tonight, tomorrow, like, would I be glad that I spent this time that I'm doing whatever it is I'm doing right now? Or should I be doing something else? You know, could I make a choice that is actually more enlivening? And people go, oh, but you can't live like that. I'm like, no, you can. You're not going to see a lot of role models, and you're not going to get, I mean, I think that when you engage with life in that way, it upends relationships. It challenges the lies that hold together our society. And a lot of people don't like that. So it won't make you perhaps the most popular in a broad sense, but other people who want to be alive will be like, wait, so how did you do that? Like, is that a thing that I could do? And I feel like, for me, the thing that we work so much with our students on is that to move from a place of certainty to the place where you can really be providing connected care, you have to die to yourself a little bit. You have to be willing to say, like, oh, like, maybe I'm not as important as I imagined I am in this person's healing process. Or, oh, maybe, like, I mean, I remember when I decided to become vegetarian, I love to eat meat. It is very, very tasty. Animals are good in my mouth, but I can't do it anymore. I just, I could never kill an animal to eat it. When the grid breaks down, I will be eating grass and whatever else doesn't involve me killing something that had a mom. But my family is also very carnivorous, and I had friends who, like, most of our relationship was based around, like, the consumption of chicken wings and beer. And now that I didn't do that, it was like, oh, who am I now that I'm not, you know, I don't wake up thinking about steak? Or, you know, there've been so many other times in my life where I've been like, wait, this doesn't fit anymore. But I think so many of us come to that place and we go, oh, but if I stop doing this, then so-and-so is going to be upset and I won't be able to go to this place. And, you know, there will be feelings. Oh, how do we avoid that? So I feel like so many of the trainings that we offer through Heal Well, and like I said, we have so many great instructors now. That's really the red thread through everything we teach, whether we're teaching a technical course or something a little softer. It's like, we're not here to tell you crap that you can then spew to your clients. Like, the most important thing you can do is know yourself intimately and know what you don't know and be willing to say, I don't know, and be willing to be surprised. And those sound like easy things, but they really, really aren't. Because it's one thing to say, I don't know, but it's another thing to say, I don't know, and have it not followed by a cascade of self-loathing and recrimination, you
Or
know,
butt.
or butt. Right. Right. Oh man, butt's a killer. Oh, the butt. Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I love too, I'm always like, I have like 9 million quotes in my head, is like the Tao Te Ching says, you know, that people are so busy living that they forget about death, you know. And I think like for me at this point, I see it as a fuel behind me, kind of pushing me into those places of discomfort, because I don't want to propel myself in those places of discomfort in moments of desperation.
Yeah.
I want to be able to throw myself in those moments of discomfort to be more comfortable. Because every time I've done things that make me feel a little uncomfortable, I find great comfort. And it doesn't mean, say you like, I decide to say, you know, I'm not eating meat. And then in a month, I want to eat meat. All right.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, like whatever, you know, but at least I gave myself the experience of what my body feels like without it. So I do. I think the more my dad always used to say, Diane, the more you know, the less you grow. And to a degree, I think that was a great thing to say.
Yeah.
Another thing you said too that I really like stuck out, because I remember it in 1996. I went to somebody's house and we went down in her basement and it was like dark, and we all learned Reiki, and people were like tripping out. Like, we didn't really know what Reiki was then. There was no master Reiki stuff. There wasn't really Reiki. It was just this like weirdly, I don't even know what was going on. 1996, you know, and we walk outside and I forgot something. I walk back to the house and the Reiki master's standing there smoking a cigarette. I'm like, that is not very Reiki-like. But anyway, but it was just like this crazy free-for-all thing. You know, it was not so like I didn't hear about it a lot. Yeah. And for me, it was like this movement, this clarification of something inside me I always had, that I could choose to lose or move.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, and I mean, to be clear, I have great respect for the Reiki lineage. And I think that, you know, the idea of having your various levels of Reiki training and receiving the attunements, there is something to that. But I think what I really challenge people on all the time is that it's not magic. It's about intention. It's about connection. And don't believe that you can't touch someone in a loving, meaningful, healing way unless you've paid someone hundreds of dollars to draw symbols on your head and sort of like bring to you this healing tradition from Japan. I don't know that there have been or ever will be studies to compare loving touch versus Reiki, and if one is sort of more effective than the other. But I feel like as massage therapists, we love to have a thing that we're saying we're doing. And it's just not enough. We feel like it's not enough to just be like, I'll have patients in the hospital and I have Reiki training, but I'll put my hands, you know, still on their leg and they'll be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, paying attention, loving you. I mean, it depends on the patient, what I think they might be most receptive to, but I'm just showing up. And you and me, we're hanging out, and maybe I'm thinking good things about your leg or whatever it might be. But, you know, the idea that I'm somehow infusing you with something that you don't already have. And I think that's.
And that you don't, and that you I won't discount you as a fellow human being and say that you don't know.
Right. Right. Yeah. When we come, I mean, we talk a lot about the difference between service and helping, and that so many of us come to this work as massage therapists from a place of helping and from a place of, I know, and you don't, and you're sort of the broken, weak, injured, whatever it is that's brought you to my table. It's because I have stuff you don't have. And it is only because I am willing to share this amazingness that is me that you're going to feel better at the end of this hour. And, you know, I just wish we could take that chip out of people and just really make it about the mutuality of being humans, and that there's a chance.
I mean,
yeah, right.
I always say there might be a chance that I might be in the right place at the right time when someone decides to get well.
Yeah, right. We just finished we have a hospital-based training course that we do. And it's a 2-module thing. So they come for 3 days and kind of get oriented to the hospital and touch a couple patients. And then they usually go home for a month. And then they come back for 6 solid days of clinical rotations, 2 days in the ICU, 2 days in the oncology unit, and 2 days in what they call acute rehab. And of course, for these guys, they started in January 2019. So there was a pretty lengthy hiatus between module 1 and module 2. But when we're in the ICU, it's the only unit we work on that patients have continuous monitoring. And we're always talking with the students about, don't watch the monitor, watch the person. But they're so interested in seeing, like, does their heart rate go down? Does their oxygen saturation go up? And we have to remind them every time that, A, the best source of information is the person under your hands. But B, even if their heart rate goes down or their sats go up or whatever, you just happened to be there when it happened. Maybe it was massage, but we never chart massage resulted in blah, blah. Like, while I was present, I observed this. And but we want it to be the thing that we did.
Thank God I was present because this happened.
Exactly.
Woo!
Yeah.
Thank God I was
there. Totally.
Or like, thank you for allowing me to share that space with you. Might be more ideal. But like I said, that's really how I've built my entire practice, and is like the keynote of the culture that I try to create at Freedom Massage. And I think is something too that gets lost in the shuffle. I couldn't agree with you more on that. I think it's something that's really important to understand. And two, one more thing I just want to circle around on that you said that I really loved, and then we'll start to wrap it up for today, but you're going to come back, so that's good. Anyway, so is willing. So one of the things is you already have taught me a ton. We've talked we had a great conversation one day on Zoom, and I'm willing to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm willing to be uncomfortable and say, I think I could have thought something, and it's not really the best thing to think.
Right.
You know, so you're really pushing when it comes to a lot of the gender issues, race issues, and all that stuff and willingness has to be such a huge piece of that. And it's like such a, in some cases, it's also willingness almost seems to go with humility.
For sure. It doesn't almost, it definitely does.
Right?
Well, and I think that the most important willingness is the willingness to be honest, that so much of what you do is to get away from discomfort.
Yes.
Like, on some level, we are just single-celled organisms moving away from stuff that hurts. And, right. Ouch. And if we can just, I just wrote I have a little side gig, calcates.com, and that's where I go to blog about things that aren't quite heal well-ish. And I just wrote a thing because I kept hearing my white friends saying, oh, I can't read that book. It's too intense. Or, I just had to take a break from learning about racism because it's too hard. And, and I appreciate your laughter even in advance of the point that I might make. And it, I think it's the same thing that happens with people when we're doing mortality awareness. And, you were talking about the Tao Te Ching and the idea that, by bringing death into our daily experience, it actually inspires more life. But I think, as with any new thing, there's a period of I don't know what this is. It's uncomfortable, it's tiring, it's confusing. And I think that this is really where, I know when I really started to embrace the fact that I will die as something that could lead me toward a more alive existence, I had a good 6 months to a year of this is depressing. But I kept going, and moved through, and I was like, oh, wait, this is really liberating. And I feel like it's the same when we're dealing with anti-racism and educating people about letting go of their whiteness. You're going to look around and go, oh God, there's whiteness everywhere. How do I even, just keep looking. It's there, and you'll start to see how to move through it and how to move to a better place. But if you stop, you won't. And every time you stop, sort of the discomfort wears off enough that you're willing to stay there. Mm-hmm. And so you have to push against the discomfort to the point where you're willing to do something that you wouldn't otherwise do.
As you're saying that, I'm thinking, I'm hearing what you're saying. And, of course, in my brain, I started flashing back to like how I used to be so exhausted when I first got sober. It's going to be 10 years that I've been clean and sober, August 12th. Woo!
Wow.
Exhausting. I used to be like, oh my God, it's so exhausting.
Yeah.
So exhausting.
Yeah.
Learn how to live.
Yeah.
You know, like I have no outlet. It's exhausting. And then as you're talking, I started thinking, well, we are recreating our thinking patterns. We're recreating our brain.
Yes.
It's not even like, so like women who are pregnant are like, I'm so tired. I don't know why I'm tired. I'm like, because you're growing a baby inside you. That's why you're tired. So, what do you mean? Anyway,
exactly. Yes.
So like when we're trying to have these new ways of thinking, our brain is going under a tremendous amount of train. And if we keep showing up and keep showing up to change that thought,
yes,
you got to it's almost like this little battle. It's like trying to get the river to go a different direction.
Yeah.
You know, that can be exhausting. And if it was easy, Cal, if it was easy, like my stepmom used to say, if it was easy to be happy, everyone would be happy. And that would be weird anyway.
That would be weird anyway. Yeah, the recovery metaphor is so good, though. We one of the courses that we teach, Dismantling Whiteness, we teach with a colleague who works in an organization that supports people coming out of incarceration, and she's also in recovery. And she just like it just hit her like a month ago. She's been doing this work forever, and she's like, "Oh my God, this is like being sober. Like when I'm tired, when I don't have the resources I normally have, like I just slip into my white crap, and I just do the stuff that I know is supporting all these systems that I'm trying to break down, but it's just harder to do it when insert thing that allows us to slip into our old patterns. And it is just that continuous, I feel like it's patient perseverance. It's not like this American way, kind of like, oh, balls to the wall. It's like, nope, I'm just going to keep moving in this direction. And it's not the easiest direction. It's not the most fun direction all the time, but you just taste a little bit of that liberation and you're like, oh, that's what's on the other side of this? Oh, I'm totally going to keep doing this. Exactly.
It's so true.
Yes.
And the only thing that I want to add to that while we're on it, though, is that state of being that, ooh, after you get it, you wanted to have it all the time because I'm an addict. You know, I'm like, ooh,
yeah.
Ooh. But I mean, it's not realistic that that's going to last all the time. But, you know, it's everything makes it all worth it. They're the moments that absolutely make it worth it. Yes. And this time with you has been so worth it.
Totally.
I love it. So let me tell you all, too, that Cal and I she's going to be.
You totally did it. Oh, my God. But you caught yourself. See, that's the thing, man. It's far from over between us.
Okay, so we are going to be doing a series together with Whitney Lowe, Till Lucha, and we're still thinking of the next person, but we're going to do a series called The Inside Job, and it's going to be awesome. It'll be in January, and because I think that a lot of people, Cal, think that you and I sit around in rainbow outfits when we're in our alone time and talk about how much we don't like straight people.
No, it's not a thing.
It's not true.
No,
it's not even a thing.
True.
As a matter of fact, we were talking about how we both hang around with more straight people than queer or gay people.
It's true. I mean, I had to have some youngins tell me, oh, you're trans. And I was like, oh, I am? Oh, well, how about that? What do you know? Because I don't know any trans people. I don't hang out with any trans people. But I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that's a thing.
And just how, too, when I'm in the suburbs of Pennsylvania, how I am the gayest person on the block. Because I'm the only gay person for hundreds of miles. But if I go to D.C. or I go to Philly,
we're all over.
Not so gay.
True.
So we're going to have a queer panel. We're not sure we're going to call it a queer panel, but we're going to talk about things in our community with a group. Just to kind of bring it to the forefront. So that's something that I'm really looking for because I really do think there's some oddness about how we act, how we think, and what we do behind the scenes.
Yes, behind the scenes.
So I just want to bring that to the forefront. And Cal, just thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, it was my pleasure. I hope that I will look forward to our next outing. Mwah.
I will look forward to our next outing, and I'll go ahead and put up all the information you could ever dream of about Cal, and we'll be back.
Woohoo!
We'll be back.
Love to all of you too.
stay put for a minute.